The death penalty is the ultimate punishment. It is irreversible and final. It is a sentence that once carried out, can never be undone. This stark reality makes the issue of wrongful executions all the more horrifying. The very idea that an innocent person could be put to death by the state is a grave injustice that should shake us to our core. Sadly, history is replete with such tragedies. Innocent men and women convicted in flawed systems have been executed for crimes they did not commit. Their stories stand as a stark reminder of the fallibility of human justice and the urgent need for reform. These cases are not merely statistics. They are human beings, sons, daughters, mothers, fathers, whose lives were tragically cut short. Their stories demand our attention. They compel us to confront the flaws in our justice system and fight for a world where such tragedies are never repeated. Since 1973, over 190 people sentenced to death in the United States have been exonerated and released from death row. This number, while staggering, likely represents only a fraction of the true number of wrongful convictions and executions. The lack of comprehensive data collection methods makes it impossible to know the exact scale of the problem. The advent of DNA evidence in the 1990s provided a crucial tool for exonerating the wrongly convicted. DNA analysis has played a pivotal role in freeing over 20 death row inmates, proving their innocence beyond a shadow of a doubt. However, DNA evidence is not a panacea. It is only available in a small percentage of cases, and many cases of wrongful conviction lack the biological evidence necessary for DNA testing. These statistics paint a chilling picture of a system that is far from perfect. They underscore the urgent need for greater scrutiny, accountability, and reform within the criminal justice system. Behind the statistics lie the human faces of wrongful execution. These are not just numbers, they are individuals whose lives were tragically cut short and families left devastated by the loss of their loved ones. Consider the story of Cameron Todd Willingham, executed in Texas in 2004 for the arson murder of his 3 young children. Despite serious doubts about the forensic evidence used to convict him, Willingham maintained his innocence until his death. Posthumous investigations cast serious doubt on the validity of the arson investigation, suggesting that Willingham may have been wrongfully executed. Then there's the case of Troy Davis, executed in Georgia in 2011 for the murder of an off-duty police officer. Davis's case drew international attention and sparked widespread protests due to concerns about the reliability of eyewitness testimony and the lack of physical evidence linking him to the crime. These stories, and countless others like them, highlight the human cost of wrongful conviction and execution. They serve as a stark reminder that the death penalty is not just an abstract legal concept. It has real and devastating consequences for individuals, families, and communities. In 1921, Colin Campbell Ross, a young Australian man, was arrested for the murder of a 12-year-old girl. Despite proclaiming his innocence, Ross was convicted and sentenced to death based largely on circumstantial evidence and unreliable forensic analysis. He was hanged in 1922, becoming another tragic victim of a flawed justice system. Decades later, Ross's case became a rallying point for advocates of justice reform. In 2008, after years of campaigning by his descendants and legal experts, Ross was granted a posthumous pardon by the state of Victoria, Australia. The pardon acknowledged the significant flaws in the original trial, including unreliable forensic evidence and the failure to disclose crucial evidence that could have exonerated Ross. While the pardon provided a measure of closure for Ross's family, it could not erase the injustice he suffered. His case serves as a chilling reminder that the wheels of justice can turn slowly and sometimes grind to a halt, leaving innocent people to suffer the ultimate penalty. Section 5. The system's fatal flaws, seeds of injustice. Wrongful convictions and executions are not isolated incidents. They are often the tragic result of systemic flaws within the criminal justice system. These flaws can take many forms, from inadequate legal representation to racial bias to flawed forensic science. One of the most significant contributing factors is the prevalence of official misconduct. Prosecutorial misconduct, such as withholding exculpatory evidence or engaging in improper argumentation, can unfairly tip the scales against the accused. Similarly, police misconduct, such as coercing false confessions or fabricating evidence, can lead to wrongful convictions. Another major concern is the issue of flawed forensic science. Many forensic disciplines, such as hair microscopy and bite mark analysis, lack scientific rigor and have been shown to produce unreliable results. The over-reliance on such flawed forensic techniques has contributed to numerous wrongful convictions. Section 6. The human cost of injustice, scars that never fade. The impact of wrongful conviction and execution extends far beyond the individual who is wrongly accused. Families of the wrongfully convicted often endure unimaginable pain and suffering. They must grapple with the trauma of seeing their loved one imprisoned or even executed for a crime they did not commit. The financial burden of fighting for a loved one's innocence can be crushing. Families often exhaust their life savings hiring lawyers, investigators, and expert witnesses. The emotional toll of navigating the legal system, enduring trial after trial, and facing the constant threat of execution can take a devastating toll on their mental and physical health. Moreover, the families of the actual victims of crime are also victimized by wrongful convictions. When an innocent person is convicted, the real perpetrator remains free to commit more crimes. This failure to bring the true offender to justice can compound the pain and suffering of the victim's loved ones. Section 7. The Quest for Truth. DNA Evidence and the Fight for Innocence. The emergence of DNA technology revolutionized the criminal justice system, providing a powerful new tool for exonerating the wrongly convicted. DNA analysis can provide conclusive proof of innocence even in cases where other evidence is weak or circumstantial. The Innocence Project, founded in 1992, has been at the forefront of using DNA evidence to free innocent people from prison. The organization has helped to exonerate hundreds of individuals, including many who were sentenced to death. These exonerations have exposed the fallibility of eyewitness testimony, the unreliability of certain forensic techniques, and the prevalence of official misconduct. Despite the power of DNA evidence, it is not a magic bullet. DNA testing is often only available in cases involving biological evidence such as blood or semen. In many cases, biological evidence may be degraded or unavailable. Additionally, access to DNA testing remains a significant challenge in many jurisdictions. Section 8. Beyond DNA, addressing the root causes of wrongful convictions. While DNA evidence has played a crucial role in exonerating the wrongly convicted, it is essential to recognize that it is not a comprehensive solution to the problem of wrongful convictions. To truly address this issue, we must address the root causes of these miscarriages of justice. This requires comprehensive criminal justice reform, including measures to improve the quality of legal representation, address racial bias in the system, and enhance the reliability of forensic science. We must also implement stronger safeguards against official misconduct, such as requiring the recording of interrogations and enacting stricter penalties for prosecutors and police officers who engage in misconduct. Furthermore, we must create a culture of accountability within the criminal justice system. Prosecutors and police officers who engage in misconduct must be held accountable for their actions. Judges must be willing to overturn wrongful convictions, even when it is politically unpopular. Section 9. A Call to Action, Building a More Just Future. The problem of wrongful convictions and executions is a stain on our collective conscience. It is a stark reminder that our justice system, while founded on the principle of fairness, is far from perfect. The human cost of these miscarriages of justice is immeasurable. Each of us has a role to play in building a more just future. We can educate ourselves about the causes of wrongful convictions and support organizations working to reform the criminal justice system. We can advocate for policies that promote fairness and accountability, such as requiring the recording of interrogations and enacting stricter penalties for official misconduct. We can also demand better from our elected officials. We can urge them to support legislation that strengthens the rights of the accused, promotes fairness in sentencing, and ensures that everyone has access to competent legal representation. The fight for justice is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires sustained effort, unwavering commitment, and a shared belief that a more just world is possible. By working together, we can create a justice system that truly lives up to its ideals. A system that protects the innocent, holds the guilty accountable, and ensures that everyone has equal access to justice.